The tract of land that they bought from England was called North Hampton, and that's why it's called Hampton Mansion. So Baltimore County does not have a lot of tourist attractions, so we're very happy that we have this one, that it was restored, and we're very delighted about that. So the Ridgely Road around here, there's Ridgely Middle School, and I had somebody on the tour a few weeks ago who went to Ridgely Middle School, and he said that is their mascot, is the Skyborn. So, which was really, I never really realized that. So a lot of the streets around here are named because of the Ridgeleys. There's a Margaretta Street, and there's a picture of Margaretta. Anyhow, so
I'll have to find out if I'm related.
Yeah, you might be. I mean, there's a lot of generations. Yeah. So the house is Georgian in style. This is the parlor, and people would have come in by carriage. It's set for 1790 when the house was completed. It took 7 years to build this house. You have to realize also, you don't have to, but you should realize that they didn't have the same tools that we have today, and trucking all the, the materials here. So it really took a long time and a lot of labor and love. This gentleman over the fireplace is Charles the Builder, we call him. The 7 owners of this Hampton all were pretty much had the same names. It was Charles, John. So the oldest son was the one who inherited the mines and the property or whatever. So that it's sort of like William and Harry in England. It was the oldest son. So Charles the Builder inherited it from his father, and he's the one. He and his wife Rebecca, who's over here, are the ones who wanted to have the summer home. So he built it, finished in 1790 after 7 years. He died in that same year. He really didn't enjoy this get together. So the dining room, maybe one of the first things you notice is the color. It's called Prussian blue, a sign of great wealth at the time, early 1800s. It was made with minerals that were put into paint to make this vibrant color. And then the wall covering, which is a reproduction, it's called Monuments in Paris, and that original was manufactured in Baltimore, which is sort of interesting to me. The main meal would have been around this time of day, would have been around 3 o'clock. So the lighting that we see today would have been around what it would have looked like. They would have had a main course, probably soup, then the help would have cleared off the table. They would have a main course, cleared off the table, and the table set right now for a dessert. You'll notice the citrus on the table. We cannot grow citrus here in Maryland, as you know. But they have names of the slaves, which is helpful. And they have knocked down several families. So the next time we come, I'll know a little bit more about it. They're trying to incorporate that into our training. Because one of the women made the best butter in North America. Somebody else was a delivery person, drove the horses. All right, I think that's pretty much it. But all the citrus, I know, we would have. There's the folk painting, yeah. I mean, they've been painting a couple of times, but they like to folk paint for stories. Yes.
I have to take another picture.
Oh, yes. So go down, I'm going to ring a bell, and then I'll be right with you. So it's sort of like our little Downton Abbey in a way. Notice that there's no writing underneath the bell. So the theory is that the slaves could not read, and each bell has a different tone. Sort of like a mother knows her child, sound over everybody else's. So when we go upstairs, you'll see a place, the bell pull, and you're saying, I guess. But and notice all the locks on the door. Some of them are newer, but this place is in the middle of nowhere. and they're just they're very serious lots.
Yeah.
Very
So what was
serious.
that?
Tell Michelle too, she's.
Sit down, it'll be for 5 minutes. Thank you. So the kitchen, when I first saw the kitchen, I thought a French chef worked here. It was really not very impressive at all. But it was very unusual to have a kitchen attached to the house in 1790 because of fire. They used this in the summertime. It would get very, very hot. So they did have a summer kitchen, which you can pass this around, please. And it was over this way, and that's what ended up burning. So that burned as well. Everything you see here would have been examples of what they grew. They were very farm to table before that was fashionable because they couldn't go anyplace else to get food. You two girls, you want to come here and you can come. You want to see?
Zoe.
You can come over here. You can get. I just want you to see get a bird's eye view of this. This is it's called a stew stove. So it's sort of like a crock pot, if you will, in that they would put coal or wood underneath there to stoke a fire. You could put a bowl in there to like stew or soup or something like that, and it would be a much more even heat than just the fire. So that's very state of the art for 1790. And so is the oven. That's the oven. That's the oven. I've never seen it inside. So this is how they made toast, for instance. This would be a roaring fire. They put the bread here, toast one side, and then turn it around and toast the other, which not instant gratification, for sure. And then the other thing, I guess there's not too much stuff in here, but the brick is really worn from where they had to bring all the food up from the other side of Hampton Lane, all the way up here, bringing in that door. So they brought it from all the way down there and bring the food up here.
How did they know to bring it? Was it a certain time?
I'm sure it was.
It was like time.
Yeah, they ate their main meal around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and
So what year was this built for the family? This was a kitchen built for the family?
yes, 1790.
That was 1790.
It's attached to the house. Nothing has been added to the house. This is the way it was. But the Ridgeleys didn't really want to see any of it. I mean, everything was far away, so they didn't want anything like right up.
Oh, you mean all the way down across the field, way down here?
Which we can find now and see. Yeah.
Oh.
So interestingly, none of the Ridgeleys served in the Civil War. They, I don't know how that happened, but there's a couple little, So the second floor is, this is where you can sit. There's 4 chairs, and we can't go to the third floor, but because it's not renovated or whatever. But this is the second floor. Notice the molding; it's beautiful, and they didn't have the tools that we have today. And it's more elaborate than the first floor. From what I understand, the person that was doing the molding, he started at the second floor and then he died before it was finished. So the first floor is beautiful, but it's not, this is like really incredible. So, and this would have been used, sometimes they played cards here, they had little get-togethers here too. So there's 6 rooms on this floor. Some of them might have been dressing rooms for instance.
Pieces,
So this is a very busy room, I think. And because the second Mrs. Ridgely, Priscilla, was also very Methodist and plain and not a lot of hoopla. Our husband must have had a very strong personality. That's off the record because I think this is very, it's got a lot of stuff going on. But the painting over the fireplace was Fort McHenry before the War of 1812. It's 1805 Baltimore. You'll notice the faux painted columns. It's set up for like a little tea in front of the fireplace, which they probably have not used in the summertime, it would have been too hot. But the linens, not the draperies or anything, but the towels that you see, those are original to the Ridleys. The cradle, crib got a lot of use. And then the steps to get to the bed. The bed was sold in 1929. I don't know the reason, but they must have needed whatever the reason. But then it was found, the Ridley bed was found in the early 2000s.
Wow.
Goodness. That's the toilet. I saw
Where's
it
the-
last time. Where's that toilet? It used to sit here.
That's the steps too. I'm looking for it. My sister said it was in here. She said she saw it.
She did too? 'Cause
Yeah, but
saw
I
it
don't-
one time too.
I don't see it.
I like these beds.
Look at the cradle.
Today, but you can do a light curtain.
Yeah.
I've seen these beds that are poster beds, but look how they like all that floral colors.
They like a lot of florals.
It's today. This was in the today bottom of some. What is it? The wardrobe. Oh yeah. Next
Look
door
at her
to Michelle,
vanity
she said
though.
that was a guest room 100 years later. Let me see that.
Oh wow.
It is.
That's interesting. It's a little cradle.
One after the other, but of course she had that nurses and everything.
So this is the drawing room. I think of this as Eliza's room because she brought back a lot of the things that are in here in her collections. She was the third mistress. As I believe I told you, she didn't need the Ridgely money at all. She was very, very, very wealthy and liked to travel and liked to shop. So notice the painted roller shades. They have different birds on each one. I've never seen them before. They're very unusual. Those are not original, but they would have, they were made out of apple or whatever. So what I've been told is it would not have had this much furniture in it.
I think a list of the slave children.
I can't read it. But it's called drawing room. I just learned this. I learned it because it was they would withdraw after dinner to go, and it was shortened to drawing room. So I didn't really know that. Yeah, I understood. Or in Baltimore, we say drawing. These mirrors.
It's really pretty.
Really pretty.
Yeah.
But anyway, died. So he would have been the next heir apparent. But his next, like William and Harry, it was John, was his younger brother. And John's the one who married Eliza. John is here next to her. This portrait of her was painted when she was 15. John was, a lot older, but he wasn't a lot older. Their age discrepancy isn't quite as big. These are Steve Kirk silver, made in Baltimore. Painted roller shades again. You can see the musical instrument. That's the only one that's down, but that has a violin on it. This is Charles, the governor, the one who had all the children. Priscilla, his wife, who also had all the children, is in the oval frame there, looking very very plain. And then Didy is in the Red Riding Hood cape that's over there in the corner. That's Eliza's daughter. So a lot of the other people, again, they're relatives, but I can't tell you who they are, and a lot of the landscapes are things that Eliza sent back here. And then the pieces of furniture, as you were pointing out, this piece is very unusual. This is not true, but somebody said it was a courting couch, so the couple that was courting could sit in the middle and the chaperones on either side. But it's sort of, that's not true. But it's very unusual.
Do we know why it's designed like this?
I don't, and I don't even know what the proper name is, actually. I did, but it's not coming to me right now. So anyhow, that's pretty much our little summer home of the Hamptons, originally, so.
Now, we can go down to the slave quarters, right?
You can, it's a self-guided, there's a dairy down there that you can see.
Can you park down there?
Yes, you can. Just think of the slaves bringing everything, all the food up and park down there. So. And then there's beautiful gardens, pretty gardens that Eliza designed. She's really into botany, and so she said prior to that time, everything was very symmetrical like the houses, but she said, we're in the America, let's